Guys, what's going on? This is Matt from Patriots Corner. Now we have a special guest on the show tonight, Mr. Josh Jeans, who's been involved in fire safety. Guys, Josh is he's currently a firefighter. He's also the co-owner of Led by Iron. You're going to see that scroll through the Instagram, Led by Iron. Totally kick-ass business, man.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. We've been around about a year now, going on a year. I bought into the company around November of last year. So, but Tyler had it probably close to 6 or 7 months before I came on board, and it's just kind of gone bananas ever since then.
It's very, very cool, and you guys do a lot with the military, law enforcement, firemen, firewomen, everybody. You know what I mean? It's totally cool. Workout, tactical type stuff. Before we jump into that, though, I got to hear your backstory. And first, let you know, you're the first firefighter, Josh, who I've ever had on Patriots Corner.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
It is awesome, man.
I'm so honored. Thank you.
It's absolutely. I'm honored to have you on the show. You know, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I'm very interested in where your career as a firefighter all began.
I got you. Yeah, I grew up in a small town about 30 minutes outside of Nashville, I guess. I went to a private high school, and I played basketball, football. I wasn't very good at football, but I was okay at basketball. And then I went to Austin Peay State University, which is in Clarksville, which is where Fort Campbell is. And I majored in advertising and marketing. And I also worked for the city of Clarksville while I was there. I worked in the transit department. So I worked with buses and stuff like that. But I always wanted to be a fireman. So my grandfather was a career firefighter for 30 years. And, he passed when I was probably 5 or 6 years old, I guess. But, I still always saw his pictures around. People always talked about him and stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to, more or less wanted to always do. So I worked, when I got out of school, I worked in radio for a little while. I worked in explosives, dynamite. I blew up buildings. And then an opportunity came along where I was able to go to EMT school. So I did that. And then I worked for a smaller town outside of Nashville, which is Franklin, where I actually live now. And I worked on an ambulance for them for 2 years. And then I got the opportunity to go to Nashville Fire Department in the EMS division. So I did that for around 8 years, I guess. And then about a year and a half ago, I was offered the opportunity to go to the academy at 40 years old. And so I did that. And that took me around 6 months. And now I'm out as a firefighter.
That's incredible. So you were kind of, all over the place. And
oh, yeah.
And that's why I think it's so very cool having you on the show tonight, because I think it's something where it speaks to a lot of young kids. Mm-hmm. I just came out of college. So, it's definitely something where at an adolescent time, you're kind of wondering what you're going to end up doing, and then you find your niche, and you obviously did find your niche and is now increasing within that niche and growing and expanding amongst other things, a.k.a., Led by Iron. That's absolutely incredible. So, Josh, I got to ask you, what type of training were you going through when your story and your new career started?
Well, I knew about when I went to EMT school. To be a firefighter these days, most places, you have to be an EMT. That's bare bones minimum. And now most cities want you to be a paramedic, but it's a lot easier to get into it if you've already got your EMT. So I did get my EMT, and now we have EMT Advanced. So I got that, and then I worked on an ambulance. I worked in downtown Nashville for about 3.5 years, and I worked on the 11th busiest ambulance in the country. So we never stopped, and it just gets to the point where it gets draining on you. So, and when I was on an ambulance, we did 4 days. We did 2 days on. When we did 2 days, 2 nights, and then we were off for 4 days. So we did 2 12-hour days, and we did 2 12-hour nights, and then we were off for 4 days. But you needed that 4 days to recover after being on an ambulance like that. And then I'm on the engine now, and then we do 24 on, 48 off, which is, it sounds rough, but it's a lot easier on your body because, sometimes we'll run 15, 16 calls. Sometimes we might run 4 or 5. It's just all according to what's going on. But before I left the ambulance, I started taking I took a ropes rescue classes. I got my hazmat. I got a lot of stuff before I got off the ambulance, so I would be more prepared to go on the engine. And I worked on that for a good little while before I even left the ambulance.
Wow, and
So
hazmat too. Hazmat can be extremely dangerous. I work in oil and gas, and I
yeah,
know hazmat is like a huge 911 type of situation, or could be, correct?
oh yeah,
And now, when you were doing that, and when you were kind of transitioning, did you ever say to yourself, I kind of developed a comfortableness as an EMT. I might stay here. I might not transition over into being a firefighter. Or did you always have that passion to kind
no,
of follow your
that was my
grandfather's
long term.
footsteps?
No, that was my long term goal in the first place. But it's everybody says, hey, I want to be a fireman, but they don't realize the process it takes to do it. I mean, when they test, thousands of people. And then I took my first opportunity to get on the fire department with Nashville was to get on the ambulance, so I took it. And then I was like, I knew it would take me a while to get off the ambulance and on the engine, so I just bided my time and took advantage of classes that I could take while I was on the ambulance. And then when the opportunity arose, I took it.
Now, if you could kind of explain, what are a few of the types of situations that can escalate from something as, somebody breaking a bone to something extreme where, you're going in and rescuing people who might have been shot. You know what I mean? I'm sure it could escalate very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's day to day with us. I mean, we get, I mean, a majority of your calls are medical calls, and that's why they want everyone to at least be an EMT. These days, I mean, because without medical calls, we wouldn't, we run fire alarms. But I mean, the way houses are built now, you don't really fight fires like they did back in the old days because people stuff would burn. But now, I mean, a majority of your calls are EMS calls. So you're more or less, you're a first responder. So you get there before the ambulance gets there. So you're taking care of these people. It might be 5 minutes. It might be 10 minutes. I mean, because Nashville's a big city and we've only got, I think they've got like 28 ambulances now.
Yeah.
And we have 40 fire halls. So, I mean, and you just don't know how long you're going to be there by yourself until an ambulance actually gets there. So you've got to be medically trained. You got to know what you're doing until they get there. Then once they get there, you're able to help them with the person who's hurt, either be it ride into that hospital with them and help them on the way in, or just have the patient better prepared by the time they get there to make it easier on everyone. But I mean, we'll go on some calls you'll go on. You're like, man, I wouldn't even call my doctor for what's wrong with me. But you still got to treat those people like, hey, it's their emergency. It's an emergency to them. So you have to look at it like, hey, they called. We got to take care of them. I mean, we'll go on headache calls. We'll go on shooting calls. We'll go on wreck calls. It's just something different every day. That's why I like it.
Mentally prepare themselves for those types of situations. You're going into an environment where, like you said, everything could be completely and totally different, and the situation might be completely and totally different than what you saw the night before or 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
Were you always a very focused person, even as a young kid, to where you weren't going to not necessarily be phased by the situation, but you knew how to control your focus as to what you were after?
I guess you're not really. I guess you just got to go into every call and look at it and say, hey, it could change in a split second. I mean, I'm not really a focused person. I bounce around. I probably got ADD. But when it's all
I
fun
do.
and games. I think anybody in this field probably does a little bit. But when you get into any situation, it could change in a heartbeat. They always, what our biggest thing is, like when we go on a domestic call, which be it like a mom and dad's in a fight, maybe a husband and wife are in a fight, that could change in a split second. They could both jump on you. So that's like in the big scheme of things, that's one of our biggest feared calls. I mean, you go in there and they're fighting each other, and then they might both jump on you. So every call is different, and you just got to go into it with that mindset of hey, something could change in a split second. And we have, you have different kinds of calls. You have sick kids, and the way I first started looking at it, when you have people die on you, I mean, it's going to happen. And it's all not Chicago fire. It's all not everybody goes home and is alive. But I mean, you just got to look at it as, hey, that's my job. I got to go do it. and go to the next call. Because if you sit there and think about it for 5 minutes, it's going to drag on you, and it's going to make the rest of your day horrible, and it's going to make you mess up on the next call. So once that call's over, you got to be done with it.
Yeah. And have you ever had one of those situations where you're in an environment and you got, I don't know, I mean, either man or woman throwing blows at you?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. But, you got to look at it like, hey, either A, this person's intoxicated, B, this person's out of their mind, or, you just got to kind of control the situation and calm them down, because if not, you're going to end up, you could get in trouble. You just kind of situations like that, you just back out quick, make sure the cops go in and de-escalate it, and then go back in and get them once they get everything calmed down. Because if you're going to blows with these people, I mean, that's no good. That's not my job. So if something like that happens, we'll just back out and say, hey, man, we're done here. And we'll leave, I mean, because, when someone calls 911, it's their worst day ever, But to us, it might not be nothing. But to them, it's horrible. So if you're going in there joking around and stuff like that, that's going to make them feel like you don't care. So you got to take every call like it's the worst call you've had that day. Because if you don't, people can read that real quick, and they're going to be like, man, this guy's a jerk. This guy doesn't care about my kid. It thinks this is a joke. So you just go into every call looking at it like that, and then it makes them feel comfortable. That's 90% of someone's job. When someone's sick, you're going in there, say their child's sick. You're going in there, you're not only taking care of the child, you're taking care of the parents.
Sure.
You're calming them down, saying, hey, buddy, it's all going to be all right. It's all going to be all right, And then that makes them feel better about you. That makes them feel better that you care and that you're going to do the best job you can do to take care of their child or their mother or their father.
Yeah. Now, you're still focused on the other, half of it. You're a big guy. You're in shape. I know you are.
Yeah.
And have you ever had situations where cops have asked you, could you help us either restrain somebody?
Oh yeah. When I worked on the ambulance, that happened a lot. I mean, I work out at least minimum 4 days a week, but hell, I was on a treadmill the other day, and my wife's a nurse, and I hurt my knee. I don't know, man. I guess like 3 months ago. So we went to Florida last month, and I was out in the driveway, like messing around with my 10-year-old. We were like kickboxing or something, and my knee just went whatever. And so when we got back, she got me an appointment with a Titans doctor. I went in and got an X-ray, and they're like, "Well, we can't see anything." So I went back, got an MRI, and then like last Friday, I'm on the treadmill at work running. My phone rings, and it's them. They said, "Hey, your ACL is torn in half." So I have to have ACL total reconstruction in October.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I've been walking around with this blown ACL and didn't even know it for like 3 months. So that's going to put me down. I think they told me 6 months, but I think it'll be 4.
Now, so I'm sure that's going to eat away at you a little bit. I mean, you obviously love your job.
Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. But I'm going to go I'll be off work totally for like 6 weeks, but I'm going to go work light duty, which is kind of like they put you in a desk job, and I'm going to work in our special operations for probably a month and a half, 2 months, and then I'll go back. So it won't be bad. So, I mean, I won't be able to lift any weights for like a week and a half. That'll drive me crazy. But, I mean, I'll start – I'm having a surgery on a Friday, and they're putting me in physical therapy by Monday. So I'll heal quick.
So transitioning over into being a firefighter, what was the toughest part of the training, if you could say? When this all started and you had taken your shot, like you had said, what would have been the toughest part of the training for you? And at any point during that, did you say to yourself, do I want to be doing this?
No, not really. I mean, I'm 41 years old. Most of those guys down there are like 25, 26. But I mean, before I went, I knew, I'm in good shape, and we run a lot. We do this a lot. There's a lot of book work to do with it too. I mean, I got 2 kids and a wife, and you come home and try to do this homework, and I haven't done any homework for I graduated college at 21, 22, and I'm 41 years old. So that was the hardest thing to me, was just getting back in the book scheme of things. Because I went to EMT school. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was like a semester. So I mean, I was not married at the time, but I was with the woman I'm with now, but we had no kids, so it's a lot easier on you. You got more time on your hands.
Sure.
So that was the hardest part to me, was getting back in the study routine. You know what I'm saying? So, but it took me about a month to get back into it, and then I was fine. Because it's I think we were down there for 17 weeks, which isn't bad.
I would have been the same way with the book work, at least. I could never
Yeah.
stand homework, man.
Oh, I hated homework. You know, when I was in college, I was like, good Lord, I think that's why I majored in marketing, because there wasn't a lot of homework. You know, I did marketing and advertising. Just a lot of
Communications.
talking.
I was communications. Yeah, it was the.
Yeah, it's all the same. I was corporate comm and marketing.
Gotcha. Yeah, and yeah, there was never too much homework. It would
Oh,
always
no.
be that one paper.
Project.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
project. And you were wishing that there was that one person who was so
Exactly.
keen.
It would do it all. Could do it all for us.
So
Could do
true.
it all for you. But
So-
yeah, but you know, back to the marketing thing. You know, when I got out of school, I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do with my degree. So now that I've got, you know, been with this company, it helps me to use my degree that my parents paid for. You know, and it makes me feel like, hey, that 4 years worth of college or 5 years worth of college was worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And that's something I want to jump into now, too, is where did Led by Iron come from? You know, this is so huge right now. I'm looking at it right now on Instagram. Guys, people are listening. Led, LEDBYIRON _ apparel. You guys got 30,000 followers.
Yeah, when we started, man, I want to say we've grown huge, man. In like the last, I don't know, man, 6 to 7 months, we've just blown up. And but we work our butts off on it. You know, we do a lot of different things. You know, we've when I first got on board, we started reaching out to people, and we anytime someone would follow us, we still do this to this day, which is kind of time consuming, but it works. We send out a direct message to everyone who follows us, you know, kind of introducing ourselves, saying thanks for following us, and give them a little discount code. And then we also do a thing where, you know, if you buy our stuff and you take a picture with our stuff, we'll post it. You know, we can't post them all, but I mean, we try to. You know, we got a lot of people. We sell stuff all around the world. I mean, we got a girl today she was from the Netherlands.
Wow.
So I mean, we got people from Slovenia. I mean, you name it, man. We've sold stuff to Russia, France, and it still amazes us to this day. We've actually got we went and got a world map, and we kind of put a little pin where we sell stuff now.
That's absolutely incredible. I'm looking
It's
at a few.
amazing.
I'm looking at a few of the pictures now. I hope you don't mind. They're scrolling through, and you know they're airing right now. But I mean, I see Ray Care is being shown. You know, I mean, I'm seeing absolutely, totally kick-ass hats. It's oh my god, dude, this is sweet.
Thank you.
I'm seeing a cowboy right now with a kick-ass blue jacket, stars, and the Led by Iron T-shirt with red pants. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, we do a lot of different stuff, man. We've got people from all aspects of life. That's kind of what we do. We have workout logos. We obviously have 2 fire logos. We have a police officer logo. We have military. So we keep it where we're not just pinpointed on one certain audience, because we didn't want to do it that way, because we wanted to get it where, you know, you'd have different varieties of people that buy your stuff. And, you know, we have a lot of good people that are around us too, though. I mean, that was our thing too. You know, we've got a lot of good people that help us. We got a lot of, I mean, we're doing a new shirt with his name's Darren McBurnett. He was a Navy SEAL. He was a Navy SEAL instructor, and he was the first person they ever let take photographs at Buds.
Yeah.
And now he does a lot of work for Nike. He does a lot of work for 511, and he's got some pretty awesome photography work. And we're releasing a shirt with him, and we just sent it off today. So in 2 weeks, it'll be coming out with one of his outstanding photos on the back of it. We're doing that. That'll be out in 2 weeks. And we do a lot of stuff with Ross Patterson.
Very cool.
He's from Drinking Bros, and he's been in a ton of movies. He's a real good friend of ours. You know, we've done a shirt with him. We've got a couple more lined up in the near future with him. You know, we've done a lot with everybody. You know, that's what you know. You mentioned Ray. We're doing a thing right now with Ray as we speak. And you know, we've done stuff with Rob O'Neill. You know, and
Chris Peranto, I'm seeing. I'm looking at Chris Peranto.
Uh, Tyler hooked up with him before I was around,
Okay.
but yeah, we've done stuff with him. And Rob, I mean, he's a, if you everybody knows who Rob O'Neill is,
Of
and
course.
that's how I met. That's how we met Darren, and it's just a big circle with a lot of these people, And me and you talked about Tim Montana earlier.
Tim
He's
Montana.
he's really good friends with Rob, and it's just a big circle with us, man. And we're working on a whiskey right now coming out in the near future, and that's a process and a half. But it's we hooked up with a guy in Pleasant View, Tennessee, from Leatherwood Distilleries, and he's been around for about a year and a half now. He's got his own line of whiskey. He's got a gin. He's got a moonshine, and we're gonna do our own line with him. And
Wow.
we actually met him through a friend of mine, um, who owns a barbecue sauce, and I got to talking to him. It's Smitty's barbecue sauce. He also has a beard oil he does. And me and him got to talking, and then come to find out he was friends with this guy who owned this whiskey distillery. So he was like, "Y'all need to hook up." So I went down there and met with him. Then come to find out, a good friend of mine I grew up with, who was my accountant, was his accountant. So it was just a big circle there. Now she's bought in on our company with us, so it's once again a big circle.
Yeah. Now I gotta ask you, Josh, how did this all start? Because this has grown so huge. I mean, you're seeing Chris Peranto, Rob O'Neill, Ray Kerr, Turley. I mean, these
Yeah,
guys are wearing your stuff. This
Yeah.
is remarkable, man. How did this all begin?
Tyler started it out with another guy, and Tyler works in a hospital in downtown Nashville. He's a paramedic, and him and a nurse started it. And Tyler was more or less doing it by himself. And he called me one day and was like, "Hey, man, would you want to get in on this with us?" And I was like, "Well, let me talk to my wife, whatever." So I was like, "Well, yeah." So I did it. And then me and him are kind of the same people. We're just go, 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 go. So we kind of got together, and we changed the whole deal. We sat down and figured out the Instagram is the way to go with this stuff. And, that's what we did. And we focused all our attention on Instagram, and it's just grown. But it's so hard with Instagram because they change the stuff. I mean, the algorithms on Instagram change daily,
I know.
and you've got to keep up with that stuff. But we figured out a lot of it pretty quick, and that's what's helped us a lot is Instagram. And we've learned too that we do a lot of giveaways with companies, and that helps. I think that's huge on Instagram is doing giveaways. I mean, we got a lot of companies we work with, like Strike Force Energy.
Yeah,
Sean
Strike
Matson.
Force.
Sean Matson's a good friend of mine. I talk to him occasionally, and we do a lot of stuff with him. We send out 4 packets of Strike Force in every one of our orders. Actually,
Wow.
we do that, and we've worked with a company in Atlanta called High Rise Tactical. They're small, but we do a lot of stuff with them. We do a lot of stuff with and just a lot of companies out there. I recently hooked up with an axe company, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of stuff with them with us. But a lot of people helped us out when we were first starting, and I like seeing companies like them and helping them grow because when they grow, we're gonna grow.
Sure.
We've done stuff with NFW watches, George Fox, and I mean, the list goes on. I mean, we've done anybody you see on Instagram that's in this realm. We've either talked to them, got something going with them, or have already done it.
Well, I gotta ask you, Josh. Have you, and if it's on its way or if it's secret, who knows? I mean, have you ever has Led by Iron, excuse me, ever sent a package of a shirt to Trump? Because I could see him rocking one, man.
Man, no, we have not. But what's funny is, Rob's pretty good friends with Donald Trump Jr. So I mean, you never know.
Good friends with his son.
Yeah, Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah. Oh man, well, that's who you gotta send it to, dude. That guy
Oh,
would
yeah.
be rocking it. He's
Oh yeah.
so all about the hunting, tactical fishing. He's
Oh, yeah.
a
He's
do-it-himself
into all of
outdoorsman.
He is. He is. And Black Rifle Coffee's big buddies with him too.
Oh yeah, Matt Best. That's
Matt Best and yeah. See, that's like with Ross Patterson. Ross Patterson's with Drinking Bros, but he also has his own podcast, the Ross Patterson Revolution. And we hooked up with him. Tyler advertised with him. Crap, man, probably almost a year ago now. And then, we formed a pretty outstanding relationship with him. And he just came out with another. Just came out with his newest book came out last week, and then him and Matt Best have written a book. It's coming out. Well, so and he helped us out a ton.
Sure,
he's helped us. Sean Matson from Strike Force has been a huge supporter of us, and you've got to have good people around you, or it's just not going to work. And the better people you have around you, the more people that are like you that are around you that want to bust it and do the same thing as you do, you're better off. And then you learn from people like that. I mean, I learned a lot from Matson. I've learned a lot from just a lot of people, like Ray Cash and, a lot of people. So, you're not going to be able to do this on your own. There's just no way.
Yeah, it's all about targeting.
It is. And there's so many clothing companies out there that are like ours, but we base ours on, we're huge in customer service. Huge. With us, if you buy a shirt and you get it and there's something wrong with it, and it's our fault, we'll send you another one, and just keep it and give that one to a friend. Like, say, for instance, if we send you out a shirt and it was the wrong size that we messed up on, we'll send you another one, give that one to your friend. It's just because it's in the big scheme of things. What are you going to gain from getting the shirt back? Nothing. So just give another one. Who cares? I worked in a lot of clothing stores when I was in college, and I learned a little bit about how this industry works, and customer service is huge in anything.
Absolutely, and it's definitely something that is, I could tell, man, you're a patriot.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, and I think it's incredible when a company such as Led by Iron is promoting, just a true American apparel. And I think that's, I know, sending them all over, but it's something that's just so remarkable, too, to see that you're a apparel line that is looking out and looking after the first responders, looking after the military. It's very, very cool to see because a lot of companies don't do that.
Yeah, and I like our stuff because it's, we don't make anything that we wouldn't wear, and it's
sure.
Our stuff's, it's clean. It doesn't look like something you'd buy in a gift shop. And, and like even with McBee, we met him. This guy's a world-renowned photographer. He's huge. And we met him at the event with Your Grateful Nation, which is Rob's foundation. And we hung out with him for a day. And he sent me a message on Instagram and was like, "Hey, dude, call me. I'd like to do something with y'all." And I was like, "Well, holy crap." So I called him, and he was like, "I really like y'all's style. I really like," he's in a nutshell, "I like y'all." He was like, "I've had a lot of companies come to me and be like, 'Hey, I want to put your work on a shirt.'" And he was like, "Well, dude, I don't even know these guys." We bounced ideas off each other, and he sent us some stuff, and we worked on it for a couple, probably close to a month. And we just now got it today to where we could both agree on it, and it'll be out in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's going to be, this shirt's pretty incredible. And all our shirts are, we use the same material on every shirt. We don't use, we don't use cotton. We use a shirt that's going to, every time you wash it, it's going to feel better,
Sure.
And, if you're paying $27 for a shirt, you're going to want it to last.
Yeah.
I think since this company's been, we've had 2 shirts returned.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. All our shirts are next level apparel, best on the market. And, that was our thing going in. We were like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. You may be paying $2 more for a shirt, but good Lord, it's going to last. And if it doesn't, we'll give you another one, guaranteed.
And I think it's something. It's just cool, man. It's a totally kick-ass apparel line. Totally cool shirts, hats. It looks like something you would see. You ever shop at? I'm a big fan of Lucky brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Lucky.
Dude, it's like that, and it's cooler, man. It's sweet. Where'd the spade come from? The spade is awesome on the back of the shirts.
Man, we were. Let's see. We started doing that we did the death card, I guess, about 6 months ago. We designed that in like 2 days, I guess. And we liked the spades. We just started using it on everything.
They're sweet. They
Yeah,
look great. Yeah.
we started using the spade on everything, and I think I may have like 2 spade tattoos. I don't even know. Yeah, I got 1 spade tattoo. I got my whole left arm's done, so I don't even know what I have on my arm anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we try to make it where the stuff's really, you can wear it anywhere. You it's not like this crazy looking stuff you see out there sometimes. Like I fight what you fear. That stuff's just that's that's crazy. I mean, you want to have something that looks good. You want, like something you can't go into Panama City and buy. Our stuff's. I mean, I've had people come to me and be like, "Hey, where'd you get that shirt?" And I was like, "Hey, I own it." And then, I've had people come to me before and they're like, "Hey, I know who you are," and I was like, okay, what do you say to these people? Appreciate
Yeah.
it, you know. But it makes us feel good when we see, we get so many pictures from people that makes us feel good. They're like, "Hey, well, hey, these people are wearing this stuff. They're proud to wear it. They're sending us pictures. They're posting it on their Instagram. And then their friends are seeing it, and then they're wanting to buy it."
Sure.
So, I mean, and we've done 1 photo shoot. We're about to do another one, but I mean, who wants to see? I mean, you got to do that, but I'd rather see people who are buying my stuff wearing it on my Instagram.
That's cool, man. What you're saying
Yeah,
right there. That's real deal type of stuff. And it goes hand in hand with how you just connected it with you having spade tattoos and then going with the death card with the spade on the back of the shirt. It's meaningful. It's not tacky bullshit. You know what I mean?
no,
It's
not.
legit.
And like our St. Florian, the red fire shirt, I have St. Florian tattooed on my left forearm. It's like it goes from my wrist to the top of my arm to the middle of my forearm. I have that tattooed on my arm too.
And it's all meaningful.
Yeah.
It's funny. I remember when I first I got 3 tattoos myself, and I remember I was always like, I'm not gonna go up, I'm not gonna go in there, I'm not gonna get something off the wall, like you would
No,
see
don't do that. Yeah.
in a movie or something like that. Let me get that's out of the fucking whatever it is on the picture or the categorizer sheet that's hanging up on a wall. You get something that's meaningful. You're making shirts that are meaningful for you, and it works out too because it fits in with somebody else. It's
Exactly.
like a deep thought. You know what I mean? But think about it. You do something that's meaningful to you that you believe in, and you get that actual feeling of belief. I just talked about this with Taylor Canfield. We were talking about Taylor earlier, the Navy SEAL who is going to start driving NASCAR, and we were talking about the feeling of belief, and it's totally true. If you believe in something, man, somebody else is going to link onto it and it's going to love it. You can't write what you're doing out in a script. I feel like a lot of it's coming from inside.
Oh, it is. And like with us, man, we when I first got on, I was like, I told Tyler, we'd get stressed out a little bit, and I was like, "Hey, man, we got to treat this as a fucking hobby at first."
Sure.
I was like, we both got jobs, we both got a house, we both got cars. If we don't sell 20 T-shirts today, we're still going to have a family. We're still going to get to eat, and that was our thing. And and then now it's kind of grown into well, crap, dude. We've got a pretty big business now, and that was the way we looked at it. And I think that's why it worked, because we weren't all stressed out going, dude, we got to sell 50,000 freaking T-shirts today, or my kids aren't going to eat. And I think that's what helped us a lot, was that there wasn't a lot of pressure on us, and we kind of just we thought outside the box and did stuff people have never done before, and that helped us, because we weren't all stressed out, worried about going, dude, this is our last $50. We got 1 credit card, it's maxed out to the T, and we're done.
Yeah.
That's our thing. I mean, we don't owe anybody nothing. Everything we have is paid for, and that was our thing too, is that we're not going to go into debt for this, and because that's how you go broke. I mean, in school they taught us that 90% of small businesses fell in the first year, and then the other 10% fell in the second. And for that reason, they overextend themselves, and they get too much inventory, they get stuck with it, and they grow too fast, or they just don't grow at all. I mean, it looks like on Instagram or wherever you see us that we've grown so fast, but really we haven't. I mean, it's a process every day that me and Tyler talk on the phone 10 times a day. Our wives are like, "Good God, is all y'all talk about." But when you're running a small business, it's like, that's your life.
Sure.
You got to look at it that way, and or it's not going to grow. I mean, and trends change every day, so you got to keep up with that. I mean, but I'd rather be a trendsetter than a trend follower.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and we have different kinds of, we got fire girls that wear our shirts. We got people everywhere wearing our stuff, and it just amazes us that that it's grown like this so fast. I mean, our Thin Red Line shirt, we've sold, dude, thousands of those things. Thousands of them everywhere, and that Thin Red Line's our biggest selling shirt, and it probably will always be our biggest selling shirt.
Well, I think it's so funny too because it's kind of like how when I started my podcast, and I still have this feeling. You just do it because how you had said a hobby, and you're doing it because it's not even like filling a void. It's just you're doing it because you love doing it.
Exactly.
So when you put so much thought into something and not downplaying anything
Yeah, yeah.
as far as people who are doing that, because obviously at a certain point you got to start putting thought into it. But I feel like when you just have that type of laid back attitude with this is what I love doing, and you're not even seeing it in the beginning as this is now, a business. This is just something that I am, doing because I truly love doing it. It
Exactly.
ends up working out.
Yeah. And that's like with Tyler when he first started it. I mean, he was selling these things out of the damn break room at the hospital.
Wow.
Because I walked in, I was like, "What is this guy doing, man?" And he was selling them, and but he knew that was the best way to get started, and it worked. And then when I came on, I was like, I have people come to me all the time, "Hey, man, can I get a shirt?" And I'm like, "You think I got them in my car?" I was like, "Dude, you got to get online and do them." I mean, and we do discount codes for firefighters, law enforcement officers, military personnel. We have a firefighter code for 15% off for if you're a firefighter. If you're a police officer, we do LEO for 15% off, and we have a military discount as well. We try to help those guys out because they're the ones wearing our stuff, and they're the ones that are, supporting us.
Sure.
And we also do a thing on that when you check out on our websites for Box 55, and that's an all volunteer service with the National Fire Department. They come out to all of our major fires, all our major incidents, and they're all volunteers, and they give us Gatorade, protein bars, or whatever, and they're not covered by the city at all. It's based on all donations. So, I felt like, hey, these dudes do this for me. We need to give something back to them. So we do that. It just like when you check out, you can donate $1, $1.55, whatever you want to, and that's starting to grow. It's a slow process getting that going, but I mean, it's at least something. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And it's just so crazy because I feel like you know where I'm going with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something where certain people will get it and certain people don't. As far as it's not a cakewalk, it's not a 1, 2, 3 step type of deal. It's literally just the feeling within, and you're making it happen how you feel. And
oh yeah,
that's incredible.
And I want I want it to keep growing as we're growing. It's growing. It's growing the way we want it to. And we're expanding. We're going to expand with the barbecue sauce, which I told you with Smitty. We're going to do the whiskey with Leatherwood, but the whiskey's a long process. When we first got into it, we thought we'd be able to do it overnight, but it's a process. And but it'll probably take us 5-6 years to make a nickel off that. That's fine, but you got to know that going into it. And that's like with any small business, you're not going to make any money for like the first 2 or 3 years. You're not going to make any money.
Sure.
And you got to know, and you got to plan accordingly to say, hey, we can't do. We have people come to us all the time. What are you going to do in a new shirt? I'm like, man, it's a process, buddy. It's not. You got to pay for this stuff, and it's fun. But then sometimes you get stressed out, and you're like, man, I can't get stressed out over this. And you're going to deal with different kinds of people in this, and you just got to figure out who you can trust, and who's trying to use you for whatever. Because we'll get people sometimes, send us messages, hey, man, send me some shirts. I'm like, for what, dude? What are you going to do for me?
Exactly, yeah.
Everybody wants something for free, and that's fine. But, I mean, we do a lot of we do a lot of stuff with other companies. We'll trade stuff back and forth to get pictures. We'll do giveaways. And that's how you got to do it, because, I mean, in the big scheme of things, we really don't have a marketing budget at all. I mean, you really don't need one. We use Instagram, and, I mean, where else? I mean, we advertise. But we're going to do some advertising on some podcasts. We're going to, it's like when I was in school, man, marketing has changed now. I mean, when I was in school, you used radio and TV. Nobody listens to radio anymore. Nobody watches TV.
Yeah.
And magazines are almost obsolete. I mean, it's all different now. So I more or less had to teach myself marketing again.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew enough to go, but I mean, it's just so different these days.
Yeah, I totally understand, man, and it's remarkable what you guys are doing, and the company is absolutely amazing, man. And the shirts you got are totally kick ass. It's incredible. And I wanted to ask you, is there anything huge that is coming out apparel wise? Any new shirts? Any new focuses?
Yeah, well, I talked earlier about the shirt with McBee. That's gonna be a huge shirt for us. I mean, because he's yeah, check him out. His Instagram is McTeams, McTeams, and just check out some of his photography. I put uh I put it on our stories earlier, but he's incredible. I mean, his shirt, we're coming out with one with him. We got some stuff coming back out with Ross Patterson pretty soon, with the next 3 weeks with him. We're still working on that whiskey. We're hoping to have it out by Christmas, but I don't see that happening. It's probably gonna be early next year.
That's
And
so
with the bar,
cool, whiskey, dude. That's really
yeah,
sweet.
it's when we first started that, I was like, is this really gonna happen? And then you start talking, and then you start crunching numbers, and you're like, well, it may happen, but it's gonna happen. It's just a really really slow process. And the guy we're working with, Andy Lang, he's incredible. I mean, we actually took him to the Your Grateful Nation event with us, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm working on I was working on a event with the Tennessee Motorcycle uh, Festival. It's in October, but I tore my ACL, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do much with that. But we've just got we got so much stuff going on. It's we get confused sometimes. We're like, God, what do we have to do today?
Sure.
It's kind of calmed down for us now, so we can focus more on getting back to our apparel, because we got when you got whiskey and you got apparel. When we first started it, I was like, man, we can't let our apparel go because of the whiskey. So we kind of calmed it down, and then we toned it back. But that's still going to come. It's just a little longer of a process than we expected.
Yeah. At some point, they'll be drinking the whiskey while they're wearing the apparel.
And buying more shirts. And
And whiskey.
yes. The one thing which is just kind of crazy, just the people I've met. I mean, like, have you seen the movie Only the Brave about the wildland firefighters?
It's one of my favorite movies of all time, man.
Okay, well, I talked to Donut. I've talked to him 3 or 4 times on the phone, man. He's a great dude, Brendan McDonough, and I talked to him last night for an hour. Just the people that I've been able to meet doing this company, it's crazy. I mean,
Wow.
And he just opened up a drug and rehab facility in Prescott, Arizona, and it's his stories. I mean, if you've seen the movie, anything about him. I mean, he's a great guy. He's young. He's like 27, 28.
Sure.
And, me and him became, not friends, but I mean, we talk on the phone, and, he's going to play a softball game next month in October and O'Neill's going to be there.
Wow.
And, and he's real good friends with Marcus Luttrell. They use the same marketing team, which is actually based here in Nashville. And, it's just the people I've been able to meet and to talk to. It's mind blowing. I'm sitting here going, dude, I wasn't even in this company, this time last year. And now it's kind of like, wow, it's kind of like unbelievable to some point. But then you're like, well, they're just people just like we are.
Sure.
I was at the gym the other day, and David Goggins was there.
Oh my God.
I met David Goggins the other day. But they're people just like we are, but still, I mean, they're incredible people. Like Rob O'Neill, look what he's done. Like Donut, look what he went through.
Yeah.
And look, and then you got Goggins. He's just Goggins.
Yeah.
But I mean, the people that I've been able to meet through this company is just, it's unfathomable.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And I just, I just don't ever see us stop growing. We'll send out those discount codes to people, and they'll be like, "Is this discount code good for? How long is this code good?" I'm like, "Forever, dude. We're not going anywhere."
Do you have a code going right now?
Yeah, you could always use Dig Deep, DIGDEEP for 10%, or the firefighters is firefighter, or Leo, LEO, and you can use Military Love, one word.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, and if you start following us and you want a discount code, or just holler at us, man. We'll hook it. We try to hook. Well, we hook every military personnel, law enforcement officer, firefighters. We hook all of them up for sure.
That's amazing, dude. That's
amazing.
And
I'm just glad we were getting the range of support that we're getting from every community, and this just blows us away every day.
Absolutely. Josh, this is going to be our last podcast, man. This is not going to be our last. That's what I said.
Yeah.
This is only the start, man. This is incredible. Wow. Led by Iron. Guys, you have to go and follow this Instagram page. It's scrolling now, and it's going to keep scrolling. Led by Iron, at LED by Iron Apparel. It is totally kick-ass, man. Totally kick-ass.
Thank you.
Josh, I want to say thank you so much for being on Patriots Corner. We got to have you back on again soon. I'm looking forward to it. God bless you, man, what you're doing. Thank you for your service, and keep rocking, dude. I can't wait to do our next one. I can't wait. Hopefully, we'll definitely do one with the whiskey.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And the barbecue sauce.
And the barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce and whiskey. That just goes. And then a kick-ass shirt.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. No, you can't drink whiskey and eat barbecue in a fairy shirt. So.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. It's way against the rules.
Josh, thanks so much for being on the show, man.
I appreciate you, buddy.
Yep. Take care.